Hello. I'd like to thank you guys for allowing the public to participate in these decisions. However, I would really like to express my interest in being able to expand our abilities to participate. This is the third meeting that is of great concern to me in the past year that I found out less than a week before the meeting. And I'm looking at a group of people who are concerned, minimized by circumstances, because the amount of people that I talk to on a daily basis that would show up here in a heartbeat to participate in something like this is staggering. You really are not seeing the amount of concern that you're causing. And I just like to hit a few points, because last time I was in a situation like this, it was my first time, I was unprepared, and I just like to do a little bit better of a situation, because this all means a lot to me, and I'm taken aback a little bit, and I'd like to do a good job. I'm a student. I just worked very, very hard studying environmental science, testing soil, water, and air, while putting myself through school farming for the past 5 years. Human, ecological, and animal health is very important to me. I grew up in Marion, where these problems were kept from me. I had no idea. I didn't have to deal with any of the impacts, because I didn't live in a city where I was being taken advantage of because I didn't know any better, because I was too caught up in the whirlwind of the economics of trying to survive. Now I do understand a little bit better what's going on and how things are achieved and whose expense they're being achieved at. And I'd just like to point out a few things. In 2007, shortly after George Bush gave corporations the rights of human beings, Shell actually expressed interest in trying to divest and away from natural resources, and to instead go into something more that would reduce a carbon footprint, along with companies like Nike and other major corporations. And due to bureaucracy, that fell through, and the politics and the crash of 10 years ago. And I'd like to just remind you guys that you are 12 years late for something that you were already 100 years late for. Oil profits have been dwindling since the mid-90s. They have not been profiting. To my understanding, from everything I've just learned, they have to be above $100 a barrel for you to turn a profit. Now, with the rest of the world investing in renewable energies and improving their economies, while we start to tear apart the rest of the world to extract their natural resources in the name of war, I believe that it's worth pointing out that the products we get from that are volatile organic compounds, polychlorinated biphenyls, polyaromatic hydrocarbons, heavy metals, breathing in inadvertently, poisoning my soil, poisoning my water, making it 10 times harder for me to farm to be able to try and grow decent food to get people out of the health problems that this has caused. There's data backing up that the known chemical contaminants that I just mentioned are indescribably wreaking havoc on our endocrine systems, creating cancer, mutations on an ecological level. And I would just like to express, because I am also very hopeful, just by standing here and being listened to right now, that this is a two-way street, and I'd like to maintain that two-way street and remind you that this lack of cost-benefit analysis and risk assessment on a peer-to-peer public level involving the public is unacceptable. And I didn't sit through school to learn how to test the environment so I could have to sit back and be handcuffed from doing so, unless I'm working for you. Your short-term gain is sacrificing generations. I won't swim in the water anymore. I reconsider having kids on a daily basis because they can't grow up the way you three did. Environmental injustice and environmental racism against minorities is obvious around here. From the Superfund sites in New Bedford, with the PCBs contaminating the Portuguese population in New Bedford, to what I'm learning about now in Providence. I'm learning about it now because, like I said, I grew up an hour away. I'd like to close by saying that I am very hopeful. However, I haven't heard the message yet, and I'd like to throw it out there that not only do I not want you, if you can't follow standards and procedures that are in best interest of the public health, I don't want you in Massachusetts, I don't want you in Oregon, I don't want you in Texas, I don't want you in the Middle East, I don't want you in this world, because you don't belong in this world if you cannot protect this world against your greed. Thank you.